Good afternoon. My name is Isabella. Can you tell me your full name, please?
Good afternoon. My full name is Carlos Martinez.
Thank you. Can I see your identification, please?
Yes, of course. Here it is.
Thank you. Now, in this first part, I'd like to ask you some questions about yourself. Let's talk about food and eating. What kinds of food do you enjoy eating?
I really enjoy diverse cuisines. I'm particularly fond of Mediterranean food, fresh vegetables, olive oil, grilled fish, but I also love Asian cuisine, especially Thai and Japanese dishes. The variety of flavors and textures fascinates me.
The variety of flavors fascinates me. Repeat after me. The variety of flavors fascinates me.
Great.
How often do you cook at home?
I cook at home about 4 or 5 times a week. During weekdays, I usually prepare simple meals, pasta, stir-fries, salads. On weekends, I have more time, so I experiment with more elaborate recipes. Cooking helps me relax after work.
Cooking helps me relax. Repeat after me. Cooking helps me relax.
Perfect.
Did you learn to cook from your family?
Absolutely. My grandmother was an incredible cook. I spent countless hours in her kitchen as a child watching her prepare traditional Mexican dishes. She taught me that cooking isn't just about following recipes. It's about understanding ingredients, adjusting flavors, and putting love into the food. Those early experiences shaped my appreciation for home-cooked meals.
Those experiences shaped my appreciation. Repeat after me. Those experiences shaped my appreciation.
Excellent.
Do you prefer eating at home or eating out?
It depends on the circumstances. I prefer eating at home for regular meals because I can control ingredients, portion sizes, and it's more economical. However, eating out is enjoyable for social occasions or when I want to experience different cuisines that are difficult to replicate at home. There's also something special about being served and not having to clean up afterwards.
There's something special about being served. Repeat after me. There's something special about being served.
Nice.
What's your favorite meal of the day?
Definitely dinner. Breakfast is usually rushed before work, and lunch is often a quick affair at my desk. But dinner is when I can truly unwind. I take time to prepare something satisfying, sit down properly, and enjoy the meal without distractions. It's my daily ritual that marks the transition from work to personal time.
It marks the transition from work. Repeat after me. It marks the transition from work.
Great.
Have your eating habits changed over the years?
Significantly. In my teens and early 20s, I ate whatever was convenient. Fast food, frozen meals, lots of processed snacks. As I've matured, I've become much more conscious about nutrition and food quality. I've now prioritized fresh ingredients, whole grains, and balanced meals. I've also reduced meat consumption and incorporated more plant-based options. Age and awareness have definitely transformed my relationship with food.
Age and awareness transformed my relationship. Repeat after me. Age and awareness transformed my relationship.
Perfect.
Now, I'm going to give you a topic and I'd like you to talk about it for 1 to 2 minutes. Before you talk, you'll have 1 minute to think about what you're going to say. You can make some notes if you wish. Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Here's your topic. I'd like you to describe a memorable meal you had at a restaurant. You should say where the restaurant was, who you were with, what you ate, and explain why this meal was memorable.
Okay, let me think for a moment.
All right. Remember, you have 1 to 2 minutes. I'll tell you when the time is up. Can you start speaking now, please?
Yes, certainly. I'd like to talk about an extraordinary dining experience I had last year at a small, family-run Italian restaurant in San Francisco's North Beach neighborhood called La Cucina della Nonna, which translates to Grandmother's Kitchen. I was there celebrating my parents' 30th wedding anniversary with my entire family, parents, siblings, and grandparents. We chose this restaurant based on my grandmother's recommendation. She'd heard about it from a friend and insisted it served authentic Italian cuisine reminiscent of her childhood in southern Italy. The restaurant itself was incredibly charming, intimate with maybe 15 tables maximum, exposed brick walls adorned with vintage photographs of Italian villages, and warm amber lighting that created a cozy, almost romantic atmosphere. You could see directly into the kitchen where the chef and his wife worked together, which added to the authentic, home-style feeling. We arrived early evening, around 6 o'clock, and the owner, an elderly Italian gentleman named Giuseppe, personally greeted us. His warmth was immediately apparent. He spoke with a thick Italian accent and treated us as though we were longtime friends rather than first-time customers. The meal began with complimentary bruschetta, simple but perfect, with ripe tomatoes, fresh basil, quality olive oil, and crusty bread that had clearly been baked that day. For antipasti, we shared burrata cheese with prosciutto and figs, which was absolutely divine. The creaminess of the cheese contrasted beautifully with the saltiness of the cured meat. For my main course, I ordered homemade pappardelle with wild boar ragu. The pasta was clearly hand-rolled. You could see the irregular edges and feel the perfect texture. The ragu had been slow-cooked for hours. You could taste the depth of flavor, the richness of the wine reduction, the subtle herbs. It was remarkably different from any Italian food I'd had in America. More refined, more balanced, less heavy. My family members ordered various dishes. My mother had osso buco that literally fell off the bone. My father chose bronzino al forno with roasted vegetables, and my siblings tried different pasta dishes. We shared everything family style, which Giuseppe encouraged, saying that's how Italians truly eat. What made this meal particularly memorable wasn't just the exceptional food, though that certainly played a major role. It was the entire experience. The genuine hospitality, the unhurried pace, the authentic atmosphere. Giuseppe spent time at our table sharing stories about his grandmother's recipes, about importing specific ingredients from Italy, about his philosophy that food should bring people together. He even brought out his wife from the kitchen to meet my grandmother. The two elderly women had this beautiful moment connecting over shared memories of Italian cooking traditions. My grandmother actually cried, saying the food transported her back to her childhood in Naples. The meal lasted nearly 3 hours, but it never felt rushed. Giuseppe brought us complimentary limoncello at the end, made from his own lemon trees in the restaurant's tiny backyard garden. We toasted to my parents' anniversary, to family, to good food and good company. This experience taught me that dining is about so much more than eating. It's about connection, tradition, hospitality, and taking time to truly savor not just the food, but the moment and the company. In our fast-paced modern world, this slow, intentional dining experience felt almost revolutionary. It reminded me why food matters beyond mere sustenance. It's cultural heritage, it's love expressed through cooking. It's the foundation of gathering and celebration.
Thank you. Would you go back to that restaurant again?
Absolutely. In fact, I've returned twice already and recommended it to numerous friends. Each visit has been equally exceptional. Giuseppe remembers us, which makes you feel valued as a guest rather than just another customer.
Giuseppe remembers us. Repeat after me. Giuseppe remembers us.
Great.
Do you think restaurants can replace home cooking?
Not entirely. While restaurants offer convenience, variety, and professional expertise, they can't replicate the personal touch and emotional connection of home cooking. However, exceptional restaurants like La Cucina della Nonna that embody home cooking values come remarkably close.
They can't replicate the personal touch. Repeat after me. They can't replicate the personal touch.
Perfect.
We've been talking about a memorable meal at a restaurant, and I'd like to discuss with you one or two more general questions related to food and eating habits. Let's consider first of all how food culture has changed. How have eating habits changed in recent decades?
Eating habits have transformed dramatically, driven primarily by 3 factors: pace of life, globalization, and health awareness. The most obvious change is the shift toward convenience. Previous generations typically cooked 3 meals daily from scratch. Today, many people rely heavily on ready-made meals, takeout, and food delivery apps. We've traded time for convenience. Simultaneously, globalization has revolutionized what we eat. 30 years ago, international cuisine was considered exotic and inaccessible. Now, ingredients from around the world are available in ordinary supermarkets. Young people grow up eating sushi, tacos, curry, and pad thai as casually as traditional local dishes. This has broadened palates, but perhaps diminished the dominance of traditional national cuisines. There's also growing nutritional awareness. People now scrutinize labels, count calories, track macronutrients, and follow specific dietary philosophies: veganism, keto, paleo, intermittent fasting. Previous generations simply ate what was available and affordable without overthinking nutrition science.
People now scrutinize labels. Repeat after me. People now scrutinize labels.
Excellent.
Do you think traditional cooking skills are being lost?
Unfortunately, yes, though perhaps evolving is more accurate than lost. Many young people today can't perform basic cooking tasks their grandparents considered fundamental: making bread from scratch, preserving vegetables, butchering meat, or even cooking rice without a rice cooker. Several factors contribute to this decline. Modern education systems often deprioritize home economics courses. Parents working full-time have less time to teach cooking skills. The abundance of cheap, convenient alternatives reduces the necessity to cook. However, interestingly, there's a counter-movement. Cooking shows, YouTube tutorials, and food bloggers have made cooking aspirational and accessible in new ways. Some young people are extraordinarily skilled, self-taught through online resources. So while traditional intergenerational knowledge transfer has diminished, alternative learning methods have emerged. The concern isn't just about losing skills, but losing the cultural knowledge embedded in those skills. Understanding seasonal ingredients, traditional flavor combinations, preservation techniques developed over centuries.
Losing the cultural knowledge embedded in skills. Repeat after me. Losing the cultural knowledge embedded in skills.
Great.
Why do you think cooking shows and food programs are so popular on television?
This popularity stems from multiple psychological and social factors. Firstly, food is inherently sensual and visually appealing. Well-produced cooking shows satisfy our senses even through screens. Vibrant colors, sizzling sounds, the anticipation of flavors, they're genuinely entertaining to watch. Secondly, cooking shows offer accessible escapism. Unlike travel shows requiring money and time or extreme sports requiring physical ability, anyone can theoretically cook. Viewers experience vicarious achievement and aspiration. I could do that, which is empowering. There's also the celebrity chef phenomenon. Charismatic personalities like Gordon Ramsay or Jamie Oliver have transformed cooking from a mundane domestic task into entertainment and even sport. Competition formats like MasterChef add drama, tension, and storytelling elements. Additionally, in our increasingly disconnected digital world, cooking represents something tangible, creative, and shareable. It's a skill that produces immediate, gratifying results. Cooking shows inspire people to create rather than just consume. Finally, food connects to identity, memory, and culture. Food programs often explore these deeper themes, making them more meaningful than mere entertainment. They're anthropological, educational, and emotional simultaneously.
They're anthropological and emotional simultaneously. Repeat after me. They're anthropological and emotional simultaneously.
Perfect.
How has globalization affected food culture?
Globalization's impact on food culture is profoundly double-edged. On the positive side, it's created unprecedented culinary diversity and accessibility. I can eat authentic Sichuan food in New York, genuine Neapolitan pizza in Tokyo, or traditional Moroccan tagine in London. This cross-pollination has enriched food culture globally, sparked creative fusion cuisine, and broadened people's culinary horizons beyond imagination. It's also improved food security in some regions by diversifying food sources and enabling trade. Ingredients that were once impossible to obtain fresh are now readily available year-round. However, globalization has concerning negative consequences. It threatens culinary biodiversity. Traditional dishes, regional ingredients, and local food cultures are disappearing, replaced by homogenized global chains. McDonald's and Starbucks exist in nearly every country, gradually eroding unique local food identities. There's also the issue of authenticity dilution. As cuisines spread globally, they often adapt to local palates, sometimes losing their essential character. Chinese food in America bears little resemblance to actual Chinese cuisine. Economically, globalization often benefits large corporations rather than small local producers. Industrial agriculture, long supply chains, and mass production have environmental costs, massive carbon footprints from food transportation, plastic packaging waste, and loss of agricultural diversity. Additionally, the constant availability of any food year-round has disconnected us from seasonality and locality, which were once fundamental to eating. We've lost appreciation for seasonality.
We've lost appreciation for seasonality. Repeat after me. We've lost appreciation for seasonality.
Excellent!
Should governments regulate unhealthy foods?
This is genuinely complex and contentious. Arguments exist on both sides. From a public health perspective, government intervention seems justified. Obesity, diabetes, and heart disease create enormous healthcare costs that society bears collectively. If unhealthy diets contribute significantly to these conditions, government has legitimate interest in intervention, just as it regulates tobacco and alcohol. Effective interventions might include sugar taxes, restrictions on marketing junk food to children, mandatory clear nutritional labeling, or limiting availability in schools and public institutions. Evidence from countries implementing such measures shows they can modify behavior and improve health outcomes. However, there are compelling counter-arguments. Some view food regulation as government overreach into personal freedom. Adults should have autonomy to make their own choices, even unhealthy ones. There's a slippery slope concern. If government regulates food, what else might it control? There's also the question of effectiveness. Prohibition historically fails. Education and improving access to healthy, affordable alternatives might work better than restrictions. Socioeconomic factors matter too. Unhealthy food is often cheaper and more accessible, particularly in low-income areas. Regulation without addressing affordability and availability is unfair and ineffective. Personally, I believe balanced intervention is appropriate, not banning foods, but ensuring transparency through labeling, restricting marketing to children, and perhaps implementing taxes that fund health education and subsidize healthy food options. The goal should be empowering informed choices rather than imposing choices.
Empowering informed choices. Repeat after me. Empowering informed choices.
Beautiful.
How important is it to preserve traditional food cultures?
I believe it's profoundly important, though not because of nostalgia or resistance to change. Traditional food cultures represent accumulated knowledge, cultural identity, and biodiversity that have practical value. From a knowledge perspective, traditional cuisines embody generations of experimentation: which ingredients combine well, which preservation methods work, how to maximize nutrition from available resources. This wisdom shouldn't be carelessly discarded. Traditional diets like the Mediterranean or Okinawan diets have demonstrable health benefits that modern nutrition science is still understanding. Culturally, food is deeply intertwined with identity, ritual, and community. Traditional dishes connect people to their heritage, mark important occasions, and create continuity across generations. When these traditions disappear, something meaningful about human connection and belonging is lost. From a biodiversity standpoint, traditional food cultures often utilize diverse, locally adopted crops and ingredients. Industrial agriculture focuses on relatively few standardized varieties.
Preserving traditional food cultures helps maintain agricultural diversity, which is crucial for food security and environmental resilience. However, preservation shouldn't mean stagnation. Cultures naturally evolve, and food cultures should too. The goal isn't freezing traditions in time, but ensuring they evolve consciously rather than disappearing through neglect. We should document traditional knowledge, support small-scale traditional producers, and encourage younger generations to appreciate and reinterpret traditional cuisines creatively. The ideal is balance, maintaining connections to culinary heritage while remaining open to innovation, global influences, and adaptation to modern realities.
Maintaining connections while remaining open to innovation. Repeat after me. Maintaining connections while remaining open to innovation.
Great.
Thank you very much. That is the end of the speaking test.
Thank you.
Excellent work, Carlos. Now, listeners, let's analyze what made Carlos's responses band 7-8 level.
Thanks, Isabella. I tried to demonstrate key IELTS speaking strategies specific to food topics.
Let's break down the food vocabulary Carlos used. In part 1, he said, "I'm particularly fond of Mediterranean food," and "the variety of flavors fascinates me."
These phrases show strong personal opinion and sophisticated vocabulary rather than just saying, I like.
I'm particularly fond of Mediterranean food. Repeat after me. I'm particularly fond of Mediterranean food.
Perfect.
Carlos also used sensory vocabulary. The variety of flavors and textures fascinate me.
Food topics require descriptive sensory language. Other useful terms, aromatic, savory, tangy, crispy, tender, succulent.
The food was aromatic and savory. Repeat after me. The food was aromatic and savory.
Excellent.
Carlos's story in part 2 used excellent descriptive language, exposed brick walls, warm amber lighting, cozy atmosphere.
Setting the scene is crucial. Don't just talk about the food, describe the entire dining experience.
The restaurant had a cozy atmosphere. Repeat after me. The restaurant had a cozy atmosphere.
Great.
Carlos said the pasta had irregular edges and perfect texture, very specific details.
Specific details make stories believable and engaging. Instead of good pasta, describe exactly why it was good.
The pasta had perfect texture. Repeat after me. The pasta had perfect texture.
Nice.
Carlos used academic language, culinary biodiversity, anthropological, accumulated knowledge.
Part 3 requires abstract thinking and sophisticated vocabulary to discuss food's societal impact.
Culinary biodiversity is important. Repeat after me. Culinary biodiversity is important.
Perfect.
Key food phrases for IELTS: home-cooked meals, authentic cuisine, slow-cooked, fresh ingredients.
I prefer home-cooked meals. Repeat after me. I prefer home-cooked meals.
Excellent. Excellent. Important cooking verbs: sauté, simmer, grill, roast, marinate, blanch, garnish.
You should marinate the meat. Repeat after me. You should marinate the meat.
Great! Now, let's give listeners specific tips for the food and cooking topic.
Great. First tip, use all 5 senses in your descriptions.
Don't just say delicious. Describe how it looked, smelled, tasted, felt in your mouth, even sounded when cooking.
Say the steak was perfectly seared with a caramelized crust, releasing aromatic juices, tender and succulent.
The steak was perfectly seared. Repeat after me. The steak was perfectly seared.
Perfect.
Second tip, learn cooking method vocabulary. It shows sophistication.
Instead of cooked, use specific verbs: sautéed, braised, poached, grilled, roasted, steamed.
The vegetables were sautéed. Repeat after me. The vegetables were sautéed.
Excellent.
Third tip, connect food to culture and emotion. Don't just describe dishes mechanically.
Exactly. Talk about family traditions, cultural significance, memories associated with food.
This dish reminds me of my childhood. Repeat after me. This dish reminds me of my childhood.
Great.
Fourth tip, show awareness of current food trends and issues.
Mention sustainability, organic farming, food waste, plant-based diets, farm-to-table movement.
Sustainability is important in food. Repeat after me. Sustainability is important in food.
Nice.
Fifth tip, balance personal opinion with broader perspectives.
Say, I personally prefer, however many people believe, this shows critical thinking.
I personally prefer home cooking. Repeat after me. I personally prefer home cooking.
Perfect.
Sixth tip, use food idioms naturally. Food for thought, spice things up, bite off more than you can chew.
That gives you food for thought. Repeat after me. That gives you food for thought. Excellent.
Remember, food topics let you be personal and analytical.
Use real experiences. Authentic stories sound more natural than memorized scripts.
Authentic stories sound natural. Repeat after me. Authentic stories sound natural.
Great.
Common food topics questions, favorite food, cooking habits, restaurants versus home, food culture changes, health and diet.
Practice answering these. Record yourself. Listen for vocabulary range and fluency.
Practice and record yourself. Repeat after me. Practice and record yourself.
Perfect.
Final tip, show passion. Food is emotional. Let that come through.
Examiners appreciate genuine enthusiasm. If you love food, let it show.
Let your passion show. Repeat after me. Let your passion show.
Beautiful.
Thank you for joining us for this IELTS speaking simulation on food and cooking.
We hope seeing a complete exam helped you understand what to expect.
Remember, food is one of the most enjoyable IELTS topics.
Use it to showcase your English naturally and passionately.
Prepare your food stories. Practice your vocabulary.
Most importantly, believe in yourself.
You can achieve your target band score.
Good luck with your IELTS exam.
Bon appetit in your English learning journey.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye-bye. Keep practicing.